Final Fantasy V didn't see the light of day outside of Japan until 7 years after its initial release date. This classic RPG has a lot going for it, and this video is going to look at some of the things you probably didn't know about Final Fantasy V. This is Hellfire RPGs, and you are watching FF5 Know the Facts. There were quite a few changes through the development of Final Fantasy V. Tetsuya Nomura played around with the idea of a ninja with a dog, and also a gambler who fought with dice and cards. This gambler was named Eva, and she was originally going to be Ferris. However, the developers didn't think these characters would fit into the game, but they later used them in Final Fantasy VI as Setzer, Shadow, and Interceptor. Oh, and in the anthology version of Final Fantasy V, Ferris's real name, Sarissa, is mistranslated to Salsa. Why do I suddenly feel like nachos? Gilgamesh is a badass who has been part of quite a few FF games. His first appearance was in Final Fantasy V, and he has quite a few interesting facts surrounding him. In an interview, Sakaguchi once discussed Gilgamesh's early life. He grew up in a village where all men were warriors. The Genji equipment associated with him were ancient sets of armor from his home village and were passed down to the best warriors when they proved their worth in battle. The high resistances provided by this equipment is a result of centuries of the accumulation of blood, sweat, and dust. But how did they come up with this beast of a character? He takes inspiration from Saito Musashibo Benkei. It is said that Benkei posted himself at a bridge in Kyoto. Here he successfully disarmed every passing swordsman, eventually collecting 999 swords. Unfortunately, on duel number 1000, Benkei was defeated by Minamoto no Yoshitsune. Benkei then devoted himself to Yoshitsune and was faithful to him for the rest of his life. Oh, and that bridge I was talking about? That was a Gojo bridge, and it inspired the Big Bridge. This explains why Gilgamesh is often fought on a big bridge, such as in Final Fantasy Type 0 and Final Fantasy XIV. Of course, the battle on the big bridge is Gilgamesh's theme throughout all of the FF games, and it is also one of my all-time favourite tracks. Here's another interesting Gilgamesh fact, but this time it's from Final Fantasy VIII. In the Japanese version, Gilgamesh states, "Huh? Was it you? Ba?" when he appears. The ba at the end was likely a reference to Bartz. Gilgamesh may have thought that Squall was Bartz due to their similar hairstyle and age. Yeah, I probably just should have called this episode Gilgamesh, Know the Facts. Many people may have thought that the spin-off started with Final Fantasy X, but Final Fantasy V actually had its own anime spin-off titled Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals. This is a 4-episode anime released in 1994, and it's set 200 years after the events of FF5. It follows the journey of Linnele, who is a descendant of Bartz. You can go check out all the episodes on YouTube if you're interested.
Ready when you are. I swear I'll get that kid!
What are they after? Oh yes, I smell treasure.
After the success of FF4 in the US, it comes to a surprise that FF5 wasn't released west until 1999 as part of Final Fantasy Anthology. In 1994, translator Ted Woolsey stated that it's just not accessible enough to the average gamer. There were, however, a couple of attempts to get the game out of Japan before 1999. In 95, there were plans to release it as Final Fantasy Extreme, targeting it at the more experienced gamers who loved the complex character building. For some reason, this never eventuated. A couple of years later, Square once again tried to port the game. In 1997, video game studio Top Dog was hired to port the game to North America through a Windows release. The communication problems between Top Dog and Square's Japanese and American branches led to yet another dead end. Some people, however, just wouldn't settle with this. During this same year, an English fan translated the Final Fantasy V ROM, and this was well received from FF fans around the world. Fortunately, today there are loads of ways to play this game, including the PS1, Game Boy Advance, Wii Virtual Console, PSN, Steam, and mobile devices. Here's a reference to one of our favourite childhood cartoons. The Turtle Sage Guido says to X-Death, "You think I sat around 7 centuries munching on pizza?" That's an obvious reference to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. A boy in Licks also states that he is SMRT smart. This references Homer J. Simpson.
Woohoo! I'm a college man! I won't need my high school diploma anymore! I am too smart! I am too smart! I am too smart! I am too smart! SMRT! I mean SMART!
The main character Bartz was originally named Butts. In all localizations, his name was translated to Bartz, obviously because, well, do I need to say it?
I am the league's director, Silas Ramsbottom.
Bottom.
Something else worth noting, in Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals, he is referred to as Bats. Final Fantasy has had some pretty amazing concept artists over the years. Here's a load of sketches of monsters that never made it into the game. This one looks like it was going to be an enemy airship. And this one looks like a giant vagina monster with fangs! This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you liked these facts or are an RPG nut, then like, subscribe and check out some of my other videos. See you next time.